Day 14's journey introduced us to Moses. By delivering the Israelites from slavery to Pharaoh, and by leading them through the wilderness wasteland, Moses pictured Jesus, the great deliverer. But it would still be another 1,400 years or more before Jesus would come to earth by being born of the Virgin Mary. That's a long time for people to wait for a promise to be fulfilled. So to encourage his people to keep looking forward to the coming of Jesus, God kept his promise before them by giving them different pictures of Jesus. Today we look at one of the first pictures, the Passover Lamb. This picture was given to the Israelites as part of the Last Supper they ate just before leaving their miserable life of slavery in Egypt. Here's what God told the Israelites to do on the evening of their last night in Egypt. Slaughter the Passover lamb. Put some of the blood on the top and on both sides of the door frame. When the Lord goes through the land to strike down the Egyptians, he will see the blood on the top and sides of the door frame and will pass over that doorway. And he will not permit the destroyer to enter your houses and strike you down. God used Moses to deliver the Israelites from Egypt by calling down 10 powerful plagues. The first 9 plagues were directed only against Egypt, but the 10th and final plague would affect Egyptians and Israelites alike. With this 10th plague, the destroying angel would kill the firstborn in every single home. That's because this plague symbolized God's universal judgment upon sin. And since the Egyptians and the Israelites alike were all sinners, it was not only the firstborn among the Egyptians who would die, it was also the firstborn among the Israelites who would die. But thank God there was a way of escape from this deadly judgment. God promised the Israelites that if they sacrificed a Passover lamb, and if they painted its blood on the top and on both sides of the door frame of their homes, the angel of death would not enter into their home and take the life of the firstborn in that household. Instead, the angel of death would pass over their home because the Passover lamb was a substitute that died instead of the sinner there. The Passover lamb was a simple shadow-like picture of Jesus. Consider the shadow's shape. The lamb had to be a male. It had to be without defect, and the lamb had to be in its prime stage of life, 1 year old. That's exactly the same shape as Jesus. He was a man. He was without sin, and when he was in the prime of his life, he offered himself up as the sacrificial lamb on the cross. John the Baptist drew the connection between Jesus and the Passover lamb when he declared of Jesus, "Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." The Apostle Paul drew the same connection while reflecting on Jesus' death, and he said, "Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed." Each Israelite family was to observe the Passover feast annually. This means that many lambs were sacrificed over the years in Israel. But not one of those Passover lambs ever came back to life. Nor did any one of those lambs ever take sin away. They were powerless to do so. Instead, each one of those Passover lambs pointed to Jesus. He is the true Passover lamb. And after offering himself as a sacrifice, he did rise from the dead. And in so doing, he reversed the curse of death and took our sin away. Now there is no need to sacrifice animals anymore. Instead, we remember Jesus' sacrificial death with a new memorial meal, the Lord's Supper. In the Lord's Supper, we eat bread and we drink wine to remember his death and his victorious resurrection. Thank God for sending Jesus as the Lamb of God who died and rose again to take away all the sin of all who believe in him.